back again, another live stream broadcast, podcast, or whatever it is. So basically, I'm in the unintentional free time in the next day, which basically is supposed to have weekly scheduled intentional free time as well in the evening, but it turns out it basically get extended earlier to become unintentional free time actually since the morning, but I decided to not do any personal productivity things in the morning because I'm just focused on do some meetings or even interview on certain places for seeing new opportunity on my main job of task. So yeah, yesterday I already tried to do a good behavior recording as usual, which is pretty long, but not as long as the longest one that I used to do, I guess, last week. I'm not sure. So before I basically create this live stream, I also have done the good behavior recording, but it's already pretty long. It's almost 20 minutes, so yesterday is more than 20 minutes. I think almost 30 minutes perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, not as long as the previous recording because yeah, I just wanted to save the battery percentage on my iPhone for doing this content because yesterday I don't do any of this content because I basically need to prioritize on my native language podcast, which I basically still need to prepare two more episodes. So yesterday I only able to do two episodes, which is only around 10 minutes because I basically need to do something in the same exact time like this. But since I already finished doing the things that I must done several times a day, I basically have more time until I'm not sure when will I finally got interrupted because I'm not sure the weekly scheduled free time in this evening is still available or not because yeah, it's already pretty long since the morning, even though there is actually some interruption in before the afternoon. But yeah, I basically don't do any personal productivity in the morning, so I just started in this afternoon. So yeah, maybe after this I will try to prepare the remaining two episodes for my native language podcast and then try to do the Animoji gaming or Animoji unboxing or Animoji unboxing, not tests like the last week or several 2 weeks perhaps, I'm not sure, because yeah, I finally bought something that I basically wanted for quite a while, even though it's basically pretty expensive, but it turns out it's much more high quality than any of the steering wheel that I have bought previously, which is basically only steering wheel, so it's basically didn't have any base because yeah, the base is pretty expensive, and I basically not really currently have some games that I like to play with steering wheel as well, so I just like to collect the steering wheel without the base, which is pretty cool. And yeah, even though I'm not sure how many steering wheel available out there which I can collect because for some reason it's just so rare to have those kind of opportunity. So yeah, that's the reason why at the time that I finally able to see those things, I just try to prioritize it using my saving first. So I basically have some other saving that I basically need to top up over and over again, which is pretty annoying. So that's the reason why, since I'm just afraid that it will be sold to another person, so I decided to use another savings that initially not for wasting those kind of things because I already waste a lot of money for fulfilling the things that hopefully gonna be make me more productive or maybe satisfied for quite a long time. But yeah, I don't know, because for some reason the main job of task is just getting more stressful than what I used to be. Even though for some company they are already trying to consider for the pandemic to start again, which I don't know whether it is actually relate with how in the evolution of technology is going to be like when the pandemic is just started several years ago, or it's basically pretty much the same, which most people still prefer to do in a more conventional way without any technology. So yeah, that's basically the saddest thing, because for some reason I basically wanted to make this kind of personal productivity, doing this kind of things as my main job of task. But yeah, I don't even ever enjoy any kind of income from this kind of thing, because yeah, the result is still far from what I expected. So yeah, I don't know whether if I finally can focus on my personal productivity, I will able to create a content that finally have some, I don't know what's the correct word to define that, finally get some attraction perhaps from the public, because yeah, it's definitely gonna be pretty hard. So that's the reason why I still need to rely on my current main job of task, even though it's just getting harder all the time. Even though the amount that I basically get is pretty much the same for several years, which is pretty annoying. I just don't get it. So yeah, I know it's, if I ever try to see this kind of thing several years ago, maybe I would not consider this as something that basically promising. But yeah, technology is always be something that basically promising, because it's just can turn into a very very valuable things. At the same time, it can just drop into something that basically wasted or junk or just scrap, and put into something that basically never seen again. I don't know how to explain those kind of things. Yeah, I just try to repeat the same word over and over again, if in order to make the podcast didn't have a lot of silence, because I think the last two recordings, even on my own native language, I basically have a lot of silence. Maybe because I'm currently thinking about many kind of things that I basically need to think about. And yeah, that's basically makes me hard to think about something that basically I want to express. So yeah, that's basically the saddest things. So yeah, I don't know, things are just forced to be better, but at some point they just never realize that when they are trying to force on something, there's definitely making things broken than what it used to be. So that's the reason why if you basically want to achieve something, never try to force it, because yeah, there's always a side effect that you eventually experience later in the future, or even before it was even achieved, because yeah, for some reason you just have to accept the result. And if you basically still wanted those kind of thing, maybe you can adjust the expectation or even try to do other things that hopefully can achieve similar result perhaps, because yeah, that's also one thing that basically can make us more grateful for any kind of things that we have right now. So it's already more than 10 minutes, but my iPhone battery percentage is still 85%. I don't know how long that I can make this, because I basically only need 10 minutes for my native language podcast, but for the Animoji unboxing, maybe it's also pretty short. The one thing that basically gonna be long is definitely the the Animoji gaming, which just not possible with the current percentage of the battery. So I'm not sure whether the Animoji unboxing can prevent the iPhone battery percentage for above 80%. So I think I will try to stop this stream and try to prioritize Animoji unboxing first perhaps.